Hello, my League of Eagles, and welcome to Leaders in Light, Love, and Legacy. Woohoo! We're live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fade Unite Radio. I'm Joy Ruffin, your minister of enlightenment, awareness, and awakenings. Oh, we're in a time of awakenings, my Eagles, and your signature style and leadership specialist. You're ready to step into the woman you were always meant to be, to own your presence, elevate your style, and lead with unapologetic confidence. This is where it starts. This is a space where bold conversations ignite that DNA within you. We shine a light on your power, your presence, and your purpose. And we explore the beautiful balance of the divine masculine and the divine feminine that we all carry within us. Yet here we discover how to align them fully in heart, mind, and soul connected. Each week, my League of Eagles, and how I love that I've given you that name, I've given us that name, I'm joined by a dynamic speaker, a guest speaker, a featured guest speaker who brings fresh wisdom, fierce insights, and unapologetic truth to this table. And let's be honest, most of us, many of us, some of us, we all love truth, love, and beauty, and the love that flows from within. So if you're craving more style, more depth, more purpose, you're exactly where you're meant to be. Visit my website at www.joyruffin.com with an E, not an I, to book your complimentary one-on-one style clarity session. And let's awaken the radiance that's been waiting within you. If we haven't met yet, I'd love to connect personally. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Joy Ruffin, Fashioning, Femininity, Style, and Truth. I love ending with that word truth. We're going to be talking a lot about truth today. Well, truth is a part of our DNA and everything that we do, where the conversation continues and the inspiration never ends. This month, we're diving into the theme of truth, love, and beauty, and style. And today's conversation is all about your voice, how you connect, how you relate, and how you utilize and use your voice, not only for yourself, but for the benefit of others. If this is the first Tuesday of the month, it means that I'm going to be solo, but not today. No, my guest is going to give us real talk, no fluff. This is your chance to send in topics you'd love to cover, for me to cover, and to share more with you, your questions and what you want more of, because we want to engage with you with what you feel is strategic for you now, whether it's signature style for men and women, leadership tips, or a life question you've been holding on to. I'm here to connect with you directly. Otherwise, woohoo, it's time now for you to sit back and relax and let me give you a little bit of a bio about my featured guest speaker. This is a lady that brings to you a long list of lots of tools and tips and nuggets that you can use to have your voice register. Leisa Reid, she as a speaker who has booked and delivered over 600 talks. She has trained entrepreneurial men and women on how to get booked and stay booked as speakers. Because whatever we're doing in this entrepreneurial or corporate world, we have to learn to speak. Leisa is the founder of Get Speaking Gigs Now. Love that. And the CEO of the International Speakers Network. She is beyond passionate about teaching you how to get your talk ready to rock. We all wanting to rock out what we're doing these days so that you can get on stage quickly and confidently. On our show today, she's going to share a lot of speaking tips and secrets for you. So sit back, buckle in, and relax, and help me welcome our featured guest speaker, Leisa. Come on up, as they say. How are you?
Hi, Joy. Love hearing your voice. You just have the most magical words that you use to your audience. I could listen to you forever.
Well, thank you. I'm honored. I'm absolutely blown away, and especially by you, because the work that you do intrigues me. I wasn't aware a lot about how important the voice can be and a speaker's voice. But Leisa, thank you for the compliment. But yet, what we know, you know, I know, we all know, is that voice doesn't have to be loud, doesn't have to be bold, the intonations and the variations, but it has to speak the truth, love, and beauty of what you're presenting. So tell us, how do you get entrepreneurial people to know if speaking is the right marketing strategy for their business? How do you go about that? Because a lot of people think it's about being loud and bold and a voice that has resonance and everything. Yes, that's important, but there are many other speakers that we know of. They don't have a loud, booming voice. So what is it?
It typically starts with a deep knowing. A lot of times people will come to me and say, I've always wanted to do that. I've always imagined myself up on stage, or imagine myself with a microphone in hand, imagine myself as the speaker, but I got distracted, life got in the way, I got on another path. And then a few decades go by and they're thinking, why am I not doing this yet? I've always dreamed of doing this. What's in my way? And sometimes we are prompted by seeing another speaker that doesn't really do it for us. We will see them and we'll think, I can do a better job. Like, I should be up there, not dissing that person, but just you see someone who you know you have more to give. You have more talent, you have more knowledge, and yet you're sitting in the audience and they're the one up on stage. That can be very motivating, right? Very motivating, because you think, man, I'm missing out. I'm letting my fears get in the way, or my doubts get in the way of me sharing my true essence, my true purpose, my true being, my true knowledge, my gifts that I have to the world. And I think I mention that because that's a very strong, common confession I will hear from people who work with me. They'll say, I've been meaning to do this for years. I just never knew how to get started or what was I going to be speaking about. And they decide that one day, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it today.
I love that. I love that, Leisa. And you started off with what resonates with me in the best way. Because you see, there's so many names that we can use, Leisa, but intuition, but you start off with a deep knowing, which isn't intuition. It's kind of something that emanates from within you that says, it's time. Why not me yet? And then you see others and you say, I have more, or I can offer it in a different way. So that's and the confession that they are honest with themselves. What's a simple way that you can attract clients without feeling pushy, using and utilizing your voice? Because that deep knowing is everything. But yet what you didn't say, and I know you're going to, is that you have to learn how to utilize your voice where it resonates. It connects. So what's the secret there? The sound, your sound, no sound.
There's so many things I could talk about when it comes to what you're asking.
Mm-hmm.
And even if we rewind the tape back just a bit in terms of knowing if you should, quote unquote, be a speaker for your business.
Yes.
It's that deep knowing, but also, do you have services or products or something that you're offering, consulting, coaching, packages, retreats, whatever it is that you're selling to the world, offering to the world? If you have that already created and you're selling those, you're like, oh, I'm selling packages, I'm selling retreats, I'm selling services, and you want to expand that and go more from one-to-one conversations to one-to-many, that is a great indicator that speaking could be a very valuable marketing strategy for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to insert that in before we went to the next step.
Yes.
And also to address what you talked about, having to be loud or an extrovert or, really excitable. I agree with you 100%, Joy. That is not required to be a speaker. For me, it's really about, do you have something of value to share? Would people benefit from this brilliance that you're sitting on, this expertise that you have, the solutions that you can provide? And if you start to answer, yes, I have a program or a service. Yes, I have knowledge that people could benefit from. Yes, I could make an impact on the world with with some of this expertise. Then we're starting to go, okay, this makes sense then. You should be probably considering doing this. You don't have to be an extrovert, a rock star, excitable in order to do it.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes the most powerful speakers are introverted, data-driven. It's okay. Whatever you're bringing to the table is okay.
You know what, Leisa, thank you for that, because you hit on something that all of us need to hear. Because the most dynamic, powerful speakers, the majority of them, I bet, if we took a personality test, they're introverted. They probably don't really get filled up in the best way when they're out among a lot of people. They like to deliver their message and make sure that it's resonating, and then they want to kind of disappear into another circle with a smaller group of people. I don't know why and how that came to me, but I think that confession of knowing who you are, and I always say know thyself, that came to me while you were talking about that. And excitable doesn't mean that you have to be loud, bold, and brilliant in your speech, but you have to know what your passions are and what you want to deliver. And what you said about the services and the packages, I get that. What do you think, you spoke to it, but what do you think the biggest obstacle is? You said you have people who come to you and they have this deep knowing, but then saying, I have more than what I see and hear. What is that biggest obstacle? I think I know, but I want to hear it from you. I know it varies. Yeah.
Yeah, I call it speaker's kryptonite because I work with speakers a lot and people who are using speaking. And kryptonite, in case your listeners don't know, is that especially now it's going to be more popular because Superman, the movie's coming out. So kryptonite's the one thing that can hurt Superman or kill Superman. And so when it comes to us as speakers, that kryptonite, what is that thing, whether it's a thought or a habit or a belief that we have about ourselves that's keeping us quiet, keeping us hidden, keeping us from not taking that, risk of being on stage, risk of vulnerability. It does take courage to be a speaker. I always say that. Even I get nervous still sometimes when I'm speaking in different scenarios. Mm-hmm. And so understanding that part of ourselves that is going to try to keep us comfortable, keep us quiet, safe, hidden, and having an honest conversation with that part of ourselves. Very important. Just looking, it's metaphorically speaking, like looking at the monster under the bed. You're going to get down on the floor, pull up the bed skirt, take a look and see, oh, it's just a sock. It's not even a monster at all. This whole time I was worried about nothing. And so that's very freeing. It's very empowering when you're able to identify that kryptonite thought and take a look at it right in the eyes and then move forward, because you're like, well, I'm here to do something bigger than my fear. I am here to affect people, make an impact, create positive change in the world, help people solve problems. And that is way more important than the self-doubt or the nervousness or the fear. We're not going to do it perfect, or we'll mess up, we'll make a mistake, or it has to be, I have to work on my talk even longer and harder and more before anyone hears it. No. You got to get out there and help people.
I love the analogy. You're cracking me up because all the time you're sharing this brilliance with us, Leisa, I'm thinking about how most of us, more men, but women too, we fell in love with our cartoon characters. And when you mentioned Superman, which is one of, I think, the first ones to come out, and then Wonder Woman for women and so on and so forth, and you mentioned kryptonite, that speaks volumes because it speaks to all of the elements that we deal with and the nervousness that you mentioned and all the other things that can happen. Why did you come up with this, which I love, and with your permission, I'm going to start using it in my talks, kryptonite. Why did you give us more information on that? Because I think we all need to hear a little bit more of how you came to using Superman and kryptonite as a flaw that we have to overcome, as he did.
Well, it's interesting, Joy. I've mentioned that phrase multiple times and I've written about it and led workshops around it. And I've never had anyone ask me personally why I came up with that. Yeah. And as I'm thinking about it, it's probably because it was a family joke in our house. My dad would say, if something didn't go quite right, he might say, oh, someone must have snuck some kryptonite in my, in the house somewhere. Where is that? It's because it's like feeling weakening, like, oh, I'm feeling a little weak or something weakened me. And so we would joke about that. That would be our family joke, one of our family jokes.
Uh-huh.
And that's probably because in the time in the 70s, the Superman movies were really popular.
Yeah.
And it is ironic because I personally, am a Wonder Woman fan, and that's more my superhero, but she didn't have a kryptonite from what I can remember.
No. But it's amazing. I love the analogy because when you talk about something weaken you and the kryptonite and so on and so forth, I think sometimes Leisa, I think we all have received in our noodle the words, but the clarity and the depth of the meaning of it doesn't come through. And the Superman, the kryptonite, I don't think many people put it together, but I love the analogy and how you're using it. What is the first step that you advise someone to take if they feel called to speak but aren't sure where to start?
I think it's very important to start documenting your ideas and thoughts. I say this because people will come to me and they'll say, oh, I've been thinking about becoming a speaker. I've been working on my talk. And I'm like, oh, cool. What do you have so far? And they're like, well, it's in my head. And I'm like, okay, there's something so powerful, whether it's writing or typing, I don't care which one you do, but that is taking it a step further and committing, right? Like, I'm going to take it out of my head and I'm going to put it pen to paper or put words on a paper in some fashion. And then you're starting that process of putting your stake in the ground. This is what I stand for. This is how I see the world. And I mention that because we've often been in our own area of expertise for so long, we make assumptions that everyone knows all the things that we know.
Yes.
But they don't know. In fact, I'm even writing a new talk right now. And I shared some of the content with a colleague and I said, is this obvious? Like, is this too basic? And she goes, oh my gosh, no, people don't know that. I'm like, oh, really? They don't still? Okay. So even I need to sometimes have that reassurance. Like, it's just because I'm in this world so often, I make assumptions that people know these things I know, but it's really helpful. So if you're a florist, if you're a chiropractor, if you're a coach or some sort, or know about health, like, what are the things that you know as an expert that would be really helpful for people, but they just don't know? And then that's going to give some value to them. And you start to realize, oh, actually I have valuable things that I can share that's going to help people. So I think that's a good first step.
I think it is beyond a great first step, because I think that the way that you describe and put your words in alignment, they really resonate. If they resonate with me, they're going to resonate with other people. And I like what you said about we assume too much. I'm guilty. We assume that maybe what we're talking about is too basic or too elementary, or everybody knows it, or they don't want to know, or whatever. We take all of this assuming assumptions and we put it in, and we don't put our stake in the ground. We don't align with the basic elementaries that most of us, because it's time for us, especially women, to reawaken and step away from the programming and conditioning that we've all been subject to, and where it's become so it's permeated our essence, and get to the core of why we're here. So when you talk about writing down and not assuming that everyone knows and keeping it basic, but yet putting your essence into it, that's what's important. And that's where we all have to start. Beginning, I call it a rebirth, or of going back to the basics. That's what you're saying in different verbiage, but it's the same thing, putting it all down and then aligning it up where it makes sense. How do you get people to, everybody, you said you can do it either by texting it or putting it into the computer or voice message. What is the best way, contingent upon the people that you've worked with, to do this, so that when they come to you, they have something that you can work with them to help and support them in aligning their talk, their speech?
Well, actually, great question, Joy. They don't need to come to me with anything. They can actually, they can come with a blank slate. Because typically I know that if we're in conversation and we decide to work together, like, they go to getspeakinggigsnow.com and get one of our freebies. We have like 5 top tips to get more speaking gigs now. They might enter my world that way and just go, oh, wow, I like these tips. Okay, what else can can I learn from Leisa? And then perhaps we have a phone call and decide to work together in our Speakers Training Academy. So what'll happen is in that session, initial consultation, I'm going to find out what is it that you're trying to do. And to circle back to our conversation earlier, like, what are you selling? What are you offering? Have you been thinking about this? Why do you want to do this? And we're going to make sure we're in alignment. Once we decide we're in alignment, I'm 1,000,000% confident we will find a talk that's right for you. And I call it get your talk ready to rock. That's the session that we do.
Yes, I like that.
But someone can come to me with no ideas. They don't need to open ChatGPT. They don't need to do any research. Now, of course, it's nice if they can go through one of my modules and teaching how I'm going to go through the process, and they can start to come up with ideas. But there's something magical that actually happens in the session, because what is happening is brilliance is being born. And when you first started sharing at the opening of this hour, you were talking about radiance, and I really resonated with that, because I like to use the word brilliance, and they're very similar, right?
Yes.
Similar type words. So I believe everyone has brilliance within them. So what we're doing is we're letting it be born. We are giving it space to come out. And that brilliance is really that person's perspective. They've done the certifications, they've gotten the licenses or the schooling or the education or the experience on boots on the ground. They're bringing all this to the table. That means they have some kind of valuable perspective. They have learned some things along the way. And now it's time to package it up so that they can deliver that to an audience who's really going to learn from that and benefit from that.
Leisa, I don't brown nose, I don't sugarcoat, candy coat, and all that other coating. But I have to tell you, the way you started out and what you brought to us is when you said they don't have to come to you with anything, come to you with a blank slate. I love that, because oftentimes in my awareness and awakening, I have found that it's sometimes best to do that because you have so much percolating up here that you need to have that other party with you to help you congest it and put it together where it aligns and makes sense with what your real passion or your first passion, because most of us have more than one passion, what it really is. So I like that. It makes a lot of sense to me. Now, how do you get the people who ultimately will work with you to get booked consistently as a speaker? What's one of the many secrets that you're going to share with us tonight?
So many. I think the biggest issue people have when they come to me is they don't really understand the speaking world, and they come with blinders on. Like they're just like, where are these magical speaking engagements? And how would I know if I saw one? And how would I get it? Like, how do I get my foot in the door? Like by the time, usually you already know about it after it's already happened and it's way too late and they already have a speaker and you're like, what? How did I miss that? So what we do is we get clarity on the talk first, like what are we talking about and who is that talk best suited for? And once we realize who the talk is best suited for, and of course this is in alignment with your services, your products, whatever it is that you offer as a business, we want to make sure then that talk is being given in the right room with the right people and has the right offer, right? So there's that trifecta. Because we want to increase your level of success and increase the odds of you attracting your ideal clients and customers or generating the right leads for your business. So we want to really hedge our bets on this is the best horse. We have run the report. We know this is the best one. And then it gets a lot easier when you know what you're looking for. If you said, I want to buy a car, and I'm like, okay, great, Joy. What kind of car do you want? A car with 4 wheels. That's not, that's very vague.
Yes.
And we wouldn't have an idea of where to start looking because they're everywhere. So it'd just be overwhelming really quickly. And that's what happens when someone starts the speaking journey. They're looking everywhere choosing wrong. If we go back to the metaphor of cars, they're choosing a wrong car. They're getting into a clunker, or they're getting into a car that doesn't have an engine, or they're getting into a car that's way above their budget, or whatever, right? Or like that doesn't fit their personality. It doesn't fit. It's not a match with their business services. So we want to make sure we identify that custom strategic booking system, because then they could just rinse, repeat it. And there's everyone that I work with has a completely different customized system.
I tell you,
right or wrong. Yeah.
I think that all of the words that you're using there, and when you talk about vague, I'm sure that that's one of the major ways that you support and guide people, because sometimes all of this creative juice is up here in the noodle, the brain, but yet the condensing of it and putting it together where they can package it and market it to that specific market. And what I've been told, and I know that you agree without asking you, is that if you have several different markets that you want to relate to, one at a time, you can't combine them all together. You know, you do 3 months, 6 months here, and then you keep going and changing it. So that vagueness is what I'm sure, because they haven't finalized and formalized yet in their minds exactly what they want to do. Because what you want to be able to do, I love your rinse and repeat. I've heard it again and again and again, but that's what we all do once we get it finalized. And then we're constantly tweaking it. So that makes a lot of sense to me. How do we, I asked this before and we didn't expound on it, because it's important, because I don't recall exactly verbatim how it was said to me, but how do we attract the ideal clients without being pushy, without feeling that we're pushing? I think that's major for a lot of people, because for me, I only speak for me, Leisa, when I started out, one of the last things I wanted to be was salesy and pushy. And one of the mentors that I worked with said that selling is a skill, and when you do it right, it's not being pushy, or you don't feel that way. You know that you're offering a service that will benefit. So how do you get them to feel that they can attract the ideal client without being pushy, feeling pushy?
Right. I think in terms of speaking, it comes through that Get Your Talk Ready to Rock session, because we're going to provide massive value to the audience in the talk. And then we're going to also create a call to action, that invitation to that next step, invitation into the world, invitation into the orbit, if you will, that feels right. And that invitation might be a sales process. It might be something they're purchasing. It might be something free. Again, this is going to depend on the business and the person and the venue, and all these things are going to come into play. But one of the best ways that I have found speaking to really make it easy for people to come in as clients is because you're the expert at the front of the room, whether it's digital, virtual room, in-person room, whatever. You're that person who's in front of the room, and people are going to be self-selecting silently while you're speaking and sharing. They might send you an email. They might come up to you. They might put something in the chat. They would sign up for your lead magnet or schedule a call with you. That way you are not the one having to reach out and say, like, slide into their DMs, if you will, if we're going to be, up to date, or like, oh, knocking on people's doors. Do you want my stuff? Do you want my stuff? Do you want my stuff?
Right.
That doesn't feel good really to anybody, right? No. We want to provide value to the people who need that value. And so speaking really makes sense for that. Now, another way, so that's one school of thought, and that's we're going to put that over on the parking lot there, because the other way that people don't talk about a lot is a strategy you can use within your talks or on a podcast. I'll do it right now. Is to combine two things. I call it my peanut butter jelly method. So it's making a way for your clients, for you to attract clients. So we want to have something sticky. That's why I use peanut butter jelly. And we want to have it yummy, right? Peanut butter jelly. You can also do peanut butter or jelly separate. You can put them together, or you could separate them. So what we're going to do is we're going to make that client attraction peanut butter jelly sandwich. And what that means is we're going to combine the peanut butter, which is sharing a client confession, with the jelly, which is putting it into a story. So for example, one of my clients is a former accountant. And when she and I first chatted about working together, she confessed to me that she'd been doing speaking for a while and it wasn't working and she was about to give up.
Uh-huh.
She didn't know what was wrong. She's like, but I see other people speaking. It seems like it's working for other people. I don't know why it's not working for me. Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciated her being honest with me because that's scary to admit. I've been working really hard. I'm trying this thing. It's not working. I'm desperate. I'm frustrated. I'm ready to throw in the towel.
Right.
So we started working together. She became a client in my speakers training academy. And she was speaking for this accounting organization. Now, this is key because she's a former accountant. So this is kind of a clue from what we were talking about. How do we get booked? Like,
yeah.
So she's in this room of people that she understands deeply, their frustrations, their obstacles, their grumblings, their stressors, right? She's been there, done that. She knows how to help them. She's now a life coach. But she wasn't getting any engagement. And It was a very strict, they had a lot of rules and regulations of what she could and couldn't do as a speaker. Mm-hmm. We went through everything. And we also compared that with the rules and regulations of what she could do in the venue. Mm-hmm. Once we realigned everything, she increased her engagement probably, I don't know, like 1,000%. Like, because she had hundreds of people on this call and she was getting crickets. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Oh my
goodness.
And so the first time we made some changes, she texted me right away. She's like, oh my gosh, I've gotten more engagement than I've ever gotten in a talk in my life. This is amazing. So we just sometimes need to tweak things a little bit. And the success is just that one scoop further, just one more scoop down. And she did not give up on speaking. She did not give up on speaking and was able to attract her clients through speaking.
I'm just absolutely blown away and loving many of the expressions that you're bringing to me, which I'm going to, with your permission, use often. I love the peanut butter and jelly theory that you're using, that you're presenting to people, the sticky and the yummy. I mean, it works, right? It works. And the example you gave us, combining the two different things together, you can use them together or separately. I think if people who are tuning in here now and those who will come later, if they walk away with just that and get the right two elements together, that will definitely work for them. How did you come up with that? You come up with the greatest expression.
I used to, it evolves over time. It was part of one of the learning points I would share in my talks for years. And I found an image and I don't know, it just came to me one day and then I thought, and then I used to say, share the problems that you solve. But really when I shifted it to confessions, that's more true and that's more enticing. There's something appealing about listening to a confession. People are like, oh, confession. I want to hear about that. It's supposed to be a secret, right? It's not something we're bragging about. And I don't ever share my client's name or picture unless they really want me to.
Right.
I keep it generic enough to maintain their confidentiality because that's important to me.
Well, Leisa, I love that because I always, even as a young girl, not knowing, I've always thought global. I think international. I think beyond the circle, the environment that I'm in. And what you just said, one of the reasons that it resonated so with me is that peanut butter and jelly is universal. Throughout the universe, global, everybody, when you say, and then when it's explained to them as you did so well, it will resonate with them and people will find ways that they can utilize that one basic but powerful system and means that you can use to present your talks and so on and so forth. Because I think that the more simplistic you keep things and the more basic and elementary they are on a global scale, the more it's going to have impact. And for me, that's what peanut butter and jelly did. And then when you described this lady and her example of how she used it and how it benefited her, that just makes it much more impactful. So good for her. How do you get those who are really, I've asked this in different ways, but those who have this uncertainty, and maybe it is best to start with a blank slate. What do you do when they come to you? How do you get them to get to the core essence of what that number one passion is that they want to promote? Is there some secret sauce or magic? I love the word magic and miracle, even though we all have it within us, we don't know sometimes how to access it. How do you get them to come up with that core talk or that core voice instrument that they need to use and how. What are some of the secrets that you do? You must have some magic there that you are offering.
Well, I think one of the things that I offer people, I call myself often, I'll talk doula, talk midwife, talk OBGYN. Yeah, like whoever you need me, I say, whoever you need me to be in the delivery room is who I'm going to be, but we're going to get the baby out as safely, and you're going to fall in love with it. That is our goal. Our goal is that you give birth to your brilliance, and then you hold it and look into its eyes and love it instantly, just like you would if it was a baby. And men can give birth to in my world, so it kind of works out great.
Oh, definitely. I think this is one of the misconceptions that we've all come. That's why I use Leisa, the divine masculine and feminine, because both genders, male and female, have both within us. So when you say it's for men, when you talk doula, it's for men and women, because we all give birth to everything. Think of all the great inventions that have been made by creative thinking and the dreams that come and so on and so forth, and then you implement them. So I get that. But how did you come up with that? Oh my God, a talk doula. That's really great, because it's all about rebirth. Yeah,
I think it was because it was really creating this, I always say it's an organic process. It's not scientific. It's each person's talk that comes out is different. It's unique, just like a human baby would be. And
yes.
If you're not in love with it, you're not going to give it. You're not going to be excited about sharing it with the world. And that's very important, because I always say no one can do your push-ups for you when you're on stage. Like, it's you, baby. And I'm not going to be the one giving it. So it doesn't matter if I like it. It matters if you like it. Now, obviously, I'm going to give my guidance and it's like, well, let's keep it moving this way or that way. I'm not going to let you go off with something that I think would be horrible. But the bottom line is that you have to be in love with your talk, and the audience will know 100% if you're not in alignment with it. If you like your call to action, if it feels weird or icky, or you feel uncomfortable or nervous about it, or you think, oh, I'm charging too much, or I'm charging too little, whatever weakness or residue that's on your call to action is going to translate, even if you say the words perfectly, and the words are the most, glorious words a person can think of. If you don't feel good about it, that feeling will be contagious. So to me, it's very important to cut through the noise, get to the truth of the matter, and really what's in your heart and soul that you want to share. I had one client who was an executive coach. He used to be really high up in corporate, VP of operations and big corporations and things like that. And when we created his talk, he was trying to make it safe to talk about in the corporate arena, right? That's what he confessed to me. And when he really said, he said to me, well, if I could just say what I want to say, I would say this. And I'm like, well, then let's say that, right? We're not following corporate rules anymore. You're your own person. You can do what you want to do. And that was very freeing for him.
Whew. I'm telling you, Leisa, when you and I met last time and we did a show together, what you left me with a lot of nuggets, tips, and tools that I am beginning to implement and utilize for me. But the one that really resonated, and I use this expression often, to the marrow of my bones, it stuck like peanut butter and jelly. It was yummy for me. You said, I'm not an arm twister. I don't just, you want to come in, you want to partake of my brilliance and my loving service to you that I'm offering, then do it. And what you just said here is one of the words that so many of us run from because we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. You said you took this guy away from this, he wants to be safe. Well, if you're speaking to what's innate within you and you want to share it, then you have to share your truth. It's not going to register with everybody, and some people are going to turn away, but safety, forget about it. And that's what I'm coming to in my own awareness with the divine feminine and women for us. So I get that. And you also mentioned at the same time how you give birth to people. Now, Leisa, the time is flying around here and it's boom, boom, boom. You and I could go on and on. Don't I say that every time we meet? Tell people how they can connect with you, how they can relate and reach you, your website, your email, your phone, whatever you want to give, and whatever you share with people, how they can connect with you. Simple, easy, and slow, because it's radio. It's not television or live streaming, but some way that they can have enough to reach with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's a free gift I want to offer all of your listeners, Joy, and that's the 5 top tips to get more speaking gigs now. Don't need to write that down or remember it, but if you want some more tips on how to get speaking more often, how to use it for your business, you would simply go to, and I'll give you the site, it's getspeakinggigsnow.com/tips. You can actually get it on the getspeakinggigsnow.com site as well. So it'll be there. You just might have to scroll down a little bit. But if you want to go directly to that one, it's getspeakinggigsnow.com/tips and just put your email information in there and you'll get them right away and you'll get some bonus tips as well.
Ooh, I think that's great. I think that's beyond great because we all look for freebies or complimentary gifts and so on that we can utilize. But Leisa, you and I look for people who are willing and ready and open to investing in themselves, because ultimately that's what we have to do. No matter what our genius might be, what our brilliance is, we need others, and business is business. So bottom line, after a while, it's making that investment, believing and trusting in yourself enough that you get someone who has more knowledge, awareness, and insights than you have at the time to support you on your mission, your purpose. And so I love that. Now, the time, it goes. I don't know where it goes. This thing called time and space. But what is the number 1, 2, or 3, and you have time to verbalize this, the key takeaway, the nuggets that you want to leave people with, the food for thought that you want them to take? The free gift is great and they will be able to partake of that. But what else is it that you have found in all of your wonderful lifetime of doing this work that you want people to take away from this talk that you delivered to us today? What is it you want to leave them with?
I think the most important thing is do what makes your heart sing. And if you have been dreaming, thinking, soul searching, knowing that you are meant to be a speaker in some fashion, it is not too late. You are not too young. You are not too old. You are not too smart. You are not too dumb. You are not too anything. Then listen to your intuition and follow that, because there are people of all ages, shapes, and sizes, religions, and all the different categories a person could think of that are using speaking now as their method to share their brilliance. There is no reason why you can't do that too. The only reason is whatever's between your ears. I have a gal right now. She's in her 70s. She's a social worker. She told me, I've been dreaming of being a speaker since I was a little girl. And if I don't do it now, when would I do it? Am I going to ever do it my whole life? I got to get started.
Ooh, great ending, because what's that expression, Leisa? If not now, when?
Exactly.
When is now? Yes, thank you for that. Leisa, I don't know without question how this is going to resonate, but I know for me, it's touched a lot of pieces within my soul, and it's resonated with me because not only do I love speaking, I love listening, and I love learning. And you always come and leave me with lots of food for thought. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to close it out now, and I'm going to be back with you in just a second. Can't tell you, thank you is sometimes not big enough, but thank you again. I appreciate it. Yes. Now, my League of Eagles, woohoo! What a rich and soul-stirring conversation we shared today with Leisa Reid. I trust you're leaving this episode with some highlights, some key takeaways, which she left us with in the end, that you can carry into your own journey of style, leadership, and living boldly and speaking boldly, because that's what Leisa is going to be about, sharing with you. This is a wrap for today's episode of Leaders in Light, Love, and Legacy. I'm Joy Ruffin, and it's always my honor to be your guide and companion along this path that we're all on together. Let me leave you with this precious gem from Leisa Reid. What she ended with: make sure your heart sings at whatever it is that you're about to do, or you want to do, you're craving. And remember, it's never too late for anything and the win is now. Let us begin. As your minister of enlightenment, awareness, and awakenings, know that I am always here for you. So if today's conversation has sparked something within you, and I believe it has, how could it not? Connect with Leisa Reid through their website and social media, which you'll be able to find easily. And make sure to visit my link, which we're going to be attaching here to your Style Clarity Bundle, which is a complimentary gift to you for being here, where you can grab your complimentary bonus and a one-on-one session that begins to awaken the radiance and the brilliance and the style that's innate within you. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Joy Ruffin, Fashioning Femininity, Style, and Truth. Love that word truth, because truth, love, and beauty is what we all crave, whether we can admit it or not. And the truth is that we have to admit it. For more conversations, fresh insights, and style with substance, whether you're drawn to leadership, signature style, divine femininity, truth, or the simple, profound power of living boldly and speaking boldly, you belong here. So join me next week, same time, same place, for another transformative conversation you will not want to miss. So until we meet again, my League of Eagles, every moment is a chance to grow, to rise, and to live more fully. Soar high, my League of Eagles, and remember that your time is now. It all begins with you. Much love, my Eagles, and cheers.